Buddhists believe that this various parts to you, they call them skandhas or Lhunpo, the parts to you come from impure causes. What's the main demon of impure causes? Ignorance. Ignorance to your fundamental nature causes you to be born into a world where you're forced to grow old, suffer, and die. This circle of life, the samsara, you see it sometimes on tankas. There's a big demon holding a wheel with all these various realms. All those realms are caused by ignorance. All the suffering realms, like the hell realms. Generally my teacher would never give this teaching because it sounds too much like Catholicism and what everybody gets here in the West. Oh no, not the hell thing again. But all of those types of bad births don't exist inherently, and that's the emptiness of it. They are all dependent upon ignorance and causes. Because they're dependent upon ignorance and causes, they can change. So the whole purpose is to change this samsara, to change the perception, which will eventually change your reality. The purpose of Buddhism is to escape death, is nothing less than that. Is to never have to be born into a life where you grow old, suffer, and die, and be forced to, do it again and again and again. Hankering here in that verse is craving. Craving is based on that ignorance. If I see something that I desire, I believe that that desire has inherent nature. If I see some good food or a really hot hottie that I desire, I believe that they have that essence that's screaming at me from their side. I believe that they hold that essence. And in my mind, I have to run for the things that I desire, and I have to run away from things like homework and work and anything that that seems really undesirable. That is a fundamental ignorance which Buddhism speaks against. Whether you see an object as desirable or not so desirable is a product of your mind. That does not mean that they are all inside your mind. There is a base of designation, colors and shapes that your mind takes hints of. The rest of it is your name that you give that thing and this mental image. That mental image comes from causes in your mental continuum. And those causes right now are impure causes due to your ignorance. If you can radically change your mind, change with wisdom, you can change those impure causes to see mental images in your mind that are perfect. Therefore, destroying that object that normally is flawed. That normally all these external objects and internal objects, not just external objects like persons, people, places, and things, but your mind, your body, your own, what you perceive as yourself. Those things can change due to that wisdom. Seek then renunciation. That's when you know you've got renunciation, is when day and night you just want to get out of this type of suffering life, and you don't stop. You have that kind of, you've lit a fire under your ass, and you do your religious practice, and you listen to what your Lama says, and you do your meditation. That's when you've got renunciation. By that benchmark, I guess, or most Buddhists don't have renunciation, because I know I wake up barely stumbling for my coffee and not really thinking much about enlightenment or my practice until I've had my coffee, and but you've had the renunciation, which is a healthy disgust for this life, when night and day you crave for, craving is a bad term, but yeah, I guess craving for liberation. Leisure and fortune are hard to find. Life's not long. Think it constantly. Stop desire for this life. Think over and over again how deeds and their fruits never fail, and how the cycles, suffering, stop desire for future. Boy, this could go on for a whole class, this one. Basically karma. We'll focus on karma here. Buddhism holds that everything is empty, and at the same time that causality does not functions, causality functions. So, everything that I'm experiencing right now in my life comes from countless lifetimes of karma that ripens in my mind. Mental impressions that are... Lord Buddha, when discussing karma, he picked out a huge tree and showed the seed of that tree. And he said, karma is similar to this. You can have a very, very wrong, small wrong deed that you do. Say, somebody at work, you told them to go F off or whatever. But if you did it with a very kind of malevolent state of mind, really mean state of mind, that small seed doesn't, in doing it, that impression is put in your mental continuum. And it grows in your mental continuum. And then you experience suffering. It's simple as that. This is the way that is explained when I run into people who are Catholics and Christians, and I talk about people who suffer. You know, like, what did and they talk about original sin. I couldn't buy it. I can't buy the original sin thing. When you talk about babies who are suffering, it's a hot topic. You know, what did they do to God? What did a baby have to do to God? In Buddhism, it's not nicer of a subject, like the baby has collected karma to suffer. You have to try to protect beings and help them as much as you can. But in the end, whether you're able to help them or not is mainly due to their karma. Karma itself is empty, and we'll get into emptiness. And because it is empty, it can change. It holds no essence. So you can radically, what that means is that if you do a slight good karma with a tremendous motivation, with wisdom and compassion, that you can radically transform your mind and your world. There's hope. Karma is not a problem you can't get out of. The whole purpose is to use the direct perception of emptiness to radically transform the way in which you see your world, which, coupled with this great desire to help living beings, it radically shifts your mind, which eventually will, if you accept that most of this reality is your mind, like my perception of everything in here is my mind on a basis, there's a base of the designation, then that can radically transform your world. And then they go through in the text some that basically whatever you do, you'll get a result. Whatever cause, you'll get a result. That if you don't do a bad karma, you'll never see a result. It can be purified, but better you don't commit a karma. That we believe that karma can be purified and lessened through virtuous actions, but it cannot be totally obliterated. And it's permutations of the same thing. Once you've committed it, it's never lost. They say that Geshe always talks about karma is kind of like at an airport you have a landing pattern and you have takeoff patterns. You can, through religious practice, try to, I don't know what the term is for pilot guys, put them in a holding pattern. You can put bad karma in a holding pattern and sort of accentuate the good stuff. But eventually that bad stuff will ripen. When you've meditated thus and feel not even a moment's wish for the good things of cyclic life or samsara, and when you begin to think both night and day of achieving freedom, you've found renunciation. And we just talked about that. And here they mention the higher births. In Buddhism, desire for these kind of births, these births are not perfect. We consider ourselves better off than animals or spirits or hell beings or people